This morning, we're tracking the latest after 2 adults and a child were injured in a Lexington shooting. And police tell us a teenager was assaulted and robbed overnight in the Masterson Station area. The search for 2 killers who escaped from a New York prison entering its 4th day.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and welcome into you on this Monday. I'm Rebecca Smith. Bill Bryan has the day off, and let's head over first to Micah Harris to get a check of the weather.
Well, we finally got rid of those storms late last night, and now we're looking at a pretty calm start to the morning. There is a sprinkle or two out and about. Now, as we go through the day, don't expect these sprinkles to stick around. They move through and they get on out of here in the next few hours. You can see it right across 60 and also 64. Fading away as we go throughout the next few hours. Temperatures are in the 60s, a couple of 50s up north. That cooler air trying to filter in. A little fog issue this morning too, so heads up for that. Today's forecast sitting right around 82 degrees. Beautiful day in store, and this is your best day in the forecast. We'll re-ramp up those temperatures. I'll show you how high coming up.
All right, thanks, Micah. New this morning, we're tracking a developing story out of Scott County. That's where police just cleaned up an accident moments ago on Interstate 75 northbound near mile marker 128. That is between the rest stop and Cherry Blossom Way. All lanes were shut down because of a multi-vehicle accident. Crews on the scene say one person was taken to a nearby hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. We're tracking the crash and we'll bring you the latest on WKYT This Morning. Well, new this morning, officers are searching for a gunman after a man was shot in Lexington overnight. This happened on Gerald Drive at around 2 a.m. in the morning. Lexington police say shots were fired into a home through a side bedroom window. A man was shot in the stomach and taken to the hospital. Police say the suspect took off towards McCullough Drive. No arrests have been made. This morning, 2 adults and 1 child are recovering after a shooting in Lexington. This one happened last night around 10 o'clock on Breathitt Avenue. Officers say a man, woman, and child were injured after a dark-colored SUV drove by and shots were fired from that vehicle. The 3 people were sitting on their front porch. The SUV took off towards Price Road. Police say the woman was struck in the foot. The man and child had minor injuries to their legs. They were taken to the hospital. So far, no arrests in this. They say there were several people in the SUV, according to police. Well, we are also continuing to track a shooting that killed 2 people in Lexington over the weekend. Police say at around 6 o'clock on Sunday, someone fired shots into a car on Whitney Avenue. Investigators say Montez Graves died. His brother was injured. A few hours later, police say Ronnie Graves died after being shot on nearby Charles Avenue. Family members say he's Montez Graves' uncle. Lexington police arrested Jermaine Anderson in connection to the Whitney Avenue shooting. Well, new this morning, we're tracking a robbery and assault in Lexington that targeted a teenager. Police say a 17-year-old was walking along Red Clover Lane off Spur Road at about 2 in the morning, and then officers say he was assaulted by a couple of other teens. The teens took off with his headphones, cell phone, and a garage door opener. Police say the 17-year-old was not suffering from visible injuries. And officials continue to search cars at checkpoints set up around the maximum security prison in New York, where 2 convicted killers escaped. There's still no sign of the men, and officials think that the plan could have taken days or even weeks to hatch. CBS's Hannah Daniels has the latest.
The manhunt for David Sweat and Richard Matt has now entered a 4th day. Law enforcement officials have fanned out across the state and elsewhere, following hundreds of leads. CBS News has learned investigators are questioning a woman who worked at the Clinton Correctional Facility in connection to the daring escape.
Disgusted. I can't believe it.
Stephen Tarsia's brother, Sheriff's Deputy Kevin Tarsia, was murdered back in 2002. Sweat was serving life without parole for the crime.
I can't believe anybody would help them get out, knowing what they done.
Matt was sentenced to 25 years to life for killing and dismembering his former boss in 1997. The convicted killers used power tools to cut through walls and metal pipes before exiting through a manhole 3 blocks away from the prison.
Our forensics investigation unit has recovered some limited cutting tools. We presume that perhaps more sophisticated tools may have been used, but we did not recover sophisticated cutting tools.
Investigators say the 170-year-old prison and surrounding area had little, if any, electronic surveillance. So far, officials say there are no signs as to where the 2 escaped prisoners may be. Hannah Daniels for CBS News, Dannemora, New York.
Well, security at schools near the prison's also been increased. According to the Associated Press, a 2014 report by the Correctional Association of New York revealed a pattern of brutality and racism at the prison. Police in Breathitt County have arrested 3 people they say kidnapped a woman and assaulted her. Jackson police say it started when the victim met her ex-boyfriend David Haddix along with William Gardner and Sharon Campbell at a park. A short time later, police say the suspects threatened the victim and later tied her up and held her against her will for hours. The victim later managed to get away. Police arrested the suspects over the weekend. Haddix talked to us from jail yesterday and admits he's hit the victim in the past.
I have put my hands on the girl. Not like totally straight up, you beat her down. But just to more or less make her stop and listen, but not during that situation.
Police say they found bullet holes and buckshot marks on the victim's car. They say they recovered a sawed-off shotgun during the arrest. Police say the victim was treated at the hospital for some injuries. They say after his arrest, Haddix admitted to robbing a gas station. 2 women charged in the murder of an elderly Rockcastle County woman say they are not guilty. Tabitha Howard and Kimberly Slusher were arraigned yesterday on murder and robbery charges. Police say the 2 killed 86-year-old Mary Hinton in her home last week. From jail, both women told us they're innocent, but prosecutors say they have plenty of evidence against them. The judge refused to lower their bonds. They're still set at $750,000 each. Police are investigating what led to a crash involving a Lexington police cruiser. This happened around 6:30 last night at the intersection of Man o' War and Sir Barton. Lexington police say the officer was headed to an emergency call when the cruiser hit another vehicle. Police say no one was injured, but police did call in their collision reconstructive unit to investigate the crash. Police say the cruiser's lights and sirens were on at the time. Witnesses tell us they saw a massive fire, even heard explosions. We're learning more about a fiery crash on the Clays Ferry Bridge that took a semi-driver's life. This eyewitness video shows the fire along southbound Interstate 75 yesterday morning. Look at that line of flames. Investigators say they found the driver dead underneath the bridge near the Kentucky River. WKYT's Monique Blair talked to a man driving by as that truck burst into flames.
It was like 6:15, 6:20. It's coming through and just noticed a lot of heavy smoke.
Austin Kelly was driving in the northbound lane of I-75 Monday morning, approaching Clays Ferry Bridge.
Get to the bridge and there's a tractor trailer on fire, just engulfed.
A preliminary investigation determined a semi-truck driver lost control, hit a barrier, and the truck burst into flames.
I wanted to get out and help, but no, it was a huge flame, so I couldn't do it.
A portion of the truck then dangled over the side of the bridge. Kelly says he was in the far northbound lanes Monday morning when that truck caught on fire, and he says even though he was about 7 car lengths away from the truck, he could still feel the heat coming off of it.
My windows were up, and then I rolled down my window, and it was like a heat wave coming in my truck. It was just freaked me out.
Kelly says all he could do was watch as the whole terrifying incident unfolded.
I wish I could unsee it, honestly, but I can't. Just really bad.
The frame of the truck was all that was left after the flames were extinguished.
Praying that guy was all right, and I was ready to get off the bridge because I didn't know if anything else was going to blow up.
The body of the driver, who we're told was a 52-year-old man from Miami, was found underneath the bridge. Lexington police tell us it's too early to tell exactly how his body got there. In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
What a scary situation. Investigators say about 100 gallons of diesel fuel spilled into the river. Firefighters put cleanup booms in the river as a precaution, but the Kentucky Department of Environmental Protection does not think the fuel caused a significant impact. Well, hundreds of people whose disability benefits were suspended will start receiving them again this week. The Social Security Administration says folks who receive them by direct deposit will be paid no later than tomorrow. If you happen to get those by mail, you'll have a check by the end of the week. The government suspended benefits for those people last month as part of a fraud investigation into attorney Eric Kahn. But the government decided to restore the benefits last week. Well, Apple has unveiled a music streaming service, a radio station, and social network at its annual Worldwide Developers Conference. They unveiled Apple Music, which costs $9.99 a month, similar to Spotify and Pandora. The company also showed off a new iPhone and Mac software. OS X El Capitan is the next version of Apple's popular desktop operating software. Siri's getting an upgrade as well. Siri Proactive will know your location and habits and pull from your search history, emails, and calendar to attempt to guess what you want to know before you ask Siri. A little creepy, I don't know. WKYT This Morning, just getting started. The shoulder is the most injured part of the body. Moms Every Day shows us how to strengthen the muscle. Coming up.
And boy, it is all about the 60s this morning and all about the 80s and even 90s in the next few days. Here comes that heat. It's cranking up. I'll show you the latest forecast coming up.